Hi Styrene Fanatics, Terry from Smue's Workshop here. Another little Warhammer 40k inbox review here. This time it's of some figurines. This is the Space Marine Tactical Squad. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, but up the top it's probably Latin. Adeptus Astartes, Space Marine Tactical Squad. Alright, I tried it. This kit part number is 48-07. Again, I got this from Games Workshop. It's a set of 10 figures, 9 Marines with a Sergeant. These are 28mm figures. Now, it originally came out in 2008 as a new tool, and it was reboxed in 2015 with some new parts in it. So let's have a little look and see. Now I'll just move my camera across. I don't have a zoom on my camera unfortunately, so I'm just trying to get you the best view possible. So this is the front box art. Unfortunately my box was a little bit crushed. Detailing all the Space Marines, which are the blue guys. Now on this side there's not much on there, just some warnings, advised 12+. This side we have a lovely one of the Sergeant figure, and oh god, turn it this way, turn it that way. Just another view of the side box art there, the Ultramarines on that one, and turn it yet another way and there's somebody with a heavy weapon there. I don't know all the names of the weapons. I think the only one I know is Bolter. Now on the back of this one, it shows you some of the different weapons that the different factions use. There's green ones, blue ones, yellow ones, the white ones. I can't remember all the names of them. There are basically ones that have got red painted fists, and they're called red fists. I do know all that. But yeah, just some details on how to paint up the Sergeant. Tactical Marine weapons. It also gives you all the Citadel paint colours that you need to paint this. Now, although I got some of them, I was recommended a different gold and a different steel. And the highlighting colour I thought was a bit light, so I went for a different one. But it's all your usual lead belchers, iron breakers, your wash and oil, all that sort of thing on the back. So if you're used to doing your Games Workshop figures, you'll be used to your Citadel paints, which come in the little pots that I've got sitting up here. So I did get a little range. This kit, see when you go into Games Workshop, I went in for a Warhammer tank and I got the Razorback. They're really good at persuading you, oh you're going to have figures with it, so yeah, I fell for it and went for it and got the paints. So this is a £25 kit. So, what's in the box? Let's just slide it all out in one go. Okay. There we go, there's the box. So they give you 10 plain bases. I think they're 20mm, 25mm. So just little bases for putting the figurines on. There's no slots or anything to put the characters in, they're just straight on it. There is a slight texture on the top, so to simulate ground, so that's in there. There's a pile of sprues and instructions. Okay, so there are 1, 2, 3 sprues. These are all moulded in a grey plastic. I'm just having to have a look to see what's written on the sprues. Anything really apart from the part numbers? No. Now there's a lot of options on these. Different stances for the legs and everything. I'm just looking for a wee pointy stick. That'll do. So this sprue basically has lots and lots and lots of shoulder pads here. Now, if I remember rightly, the plain ones, there's about 7 sets of those. So these are all just left and right shoulder pads. About 7 of those, and then there's a couple of different ones with like wee skulls on and wings on. spikies on. Looks like a star, and one with an emblem on. That's probably ultramarines. But so there's lots of shoulder pads there, and then there's all the leg portions, the lower legs with the boots on there, and there's an arm. Lots of wee detailed bits, backpacks, weapons. That's the sergeant's pendant or flag with 3 different emblems at the top. Okay, they're all really crisp mouldings with lots and lots of detail on them. Absolutely fantastic. So these figures, when you paint them, when you put a wash in, there's lots of nice little panel lines for the washes to go into, and they'll pick up the dark shades, and then you can go over it and highlight the shades and everything, a bit of dry brushing. So really crisp mouldings, no flash whatsoever. So that's basically shoulder pads and legs with a few backpacks and the couple of the sergeant's bits on that sprue. Next sprue, again, there's just the part numbers on them. There's nothing telling you, oh hold on, 2012 Games Workshop, this one. So there's some new parts in and some older sprues obviously. So this one is mostly, I'm just looking at it, elbow joints, forearm and arms, and the weapons. So here we have the elbow joints all along here. Again, lovely crisp mouldings, no flash or anything on them. The forearms and the arms, that looks like some sort of mine device or whatever that's for the sergeant. There's also a machete. There's one hand for reloading, one hand points, and the other one's a grenade. And these are elbow joints again. More arms. Your bolter guns. Looks like a flamethrower of some sort. Plasma guns. Yeah, just loads and loads of different weapons. Pistols. There's 2 laser sights. Now, seemingly you're only allowed so many of these per squad. But as I say, I don't play the game, so I don't know all the rules. There's like a really big punchy fist hand. That's obviously for the sergeant. And knives and things like that. It's all just lovely detail, right down to the little skulls and everything on there. So these are going to pick up washes and for all the panel lines, and you're going to be able to dry brush them to pick up highlights and that. So it's really detailed. And then the final sprue is, just having a look here, back half of the heads, upper torso, their jetpacks, the big machete and the saw type machete thing, the machete thing, the saw blade one. It looks like a chainsaw actually, hand operated chainsaw, setting on chacus there. All the jetpacks, upper torso. They've got like little rosettes is the only thing I can say. Now that must be something they're awarded when they're in battle. You can see up here in the picture, some of them have got 2 tabs on them, and some of them have only got 1 on the shoulders. Don't know what they signify. There is a head without a helm on for the sergeant figure, because he's like really hard and doesn't have to wear a helmet. So they're really cool. So there's not going to be a lot of building to them, but there'll be a little bit of planning. There's grenade packs and things like that. A little bit of planning, especially if the arms and the weapon come across the front of the body, so you can get into painting them. But we'll come across that when I actually get on to building them. That's it. It's basically repetitions of legs, torso, front and back, left arm, right arm. You've got different positions of the legs, different positions of the arms, different weapons, different backpacks, different shoulder pads, There's the guy there, he's got the spiky one on. That's a heavy weapons guy, so he's got a big fancy backpack and everything on. So allows you to make a squad of 10. The instructions are actually lovely. They show them there just in the grey plastic and what they could look like when they're painted up. So they say there's only 8 steps to make them. And we open up the first part, and it looks like standard Warhammer. All your call outs for what each symbol means, special instructions, dry fit, paint before assembly, choice of parts, etc. Again, they recommend 2 glues, but any poly glue will do. Side cutters and a mould line remover, craft knife, sander, same thing. First section comes up to building the Space Marine Sergeant. They tell you to fit them at the base. I'm going to try, I'll see how it goes for painting, but not put them on the base to start with, because I don't know if I'm going to end up putting these in a dio. If I put them onto the base, I might put them on with PVA. But yeah, building up his legs, his upper body, you have got 10 choices of positions of legs. So you pick which one suits that you want for him. There's an option of his little crotch flap, I'll call it, on which style you want. And that shows you with all that parts together, that's what it's built up like. There's different options with weapons. He can stand with a heavy weapon across him, or he can have a pistol in his right hand and a sword in his left hand. There are so many options with this sergeant, and obviously certain weapons will be preferred when you're gaming. There's 4 different positions of arms, so you know the different stances. That is if he's having the weapon across his body. And then you've got a choice of 1, 2, 3. This looks like this is the base part of the weapon, and then you get extra bits that you glue on top of it. So I have no idea what any of them are, but you get so many choices for his weapons. And then obviously there's different arm setups if you're going for the 3 different pistols. So you would, and 2 different arms for those as well. And then on his left arm, you can either have a pointy hand, so he's pointing, go here, or a big smash hammer fist, or looks like a sword, looks like some sort of mine detonation device. That's a pointy hand there. Or you can have like the chainsaw. It's really up to what you prefer. And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 possible combinations of shoulder pads for him, depending on what you want to go for. And then for his head, you can either go one with a helm on, or you can actually have him with his little head with his hair out. Now this is just for the sergeant. And then you go into the backpacks, which are the jet packs, which I assume with them being Space Marines is how they fly about from place to place. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different jet packs, and they've all got different logos on the back. There's one with a skull, a smaller skull, vents, you know, so there's all different jet packs. Once you've decided what one of those you want, then you have his big pendant that goes on top of him. And you have 3 different insignias that go on there. There's a big wing, that's like the outline of a star or a sun with a skull in it, and that one looks like a skull with laurel leaves on it. So these go on top, so that must obviously be your regimental emblem. And then you go into your Space Marines. So then you basically choose from the leg positions that are left. There are 10 choices, so obviously each one is going to have a slightly different leg pose. Then on the torsos on these, it's whatever body parts you've got left after doing your your sergeant, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 10 choices of different front torso plates. That's them all built up. You get to make one Space Marine with a heavy weapon. This looks like some sort of rocket launcher with the rockets on the side, and that's that built up. So that if that's the heavy weapon guy, that's my decals. There's another heavy weapon which has a big backpack thing to go with it. No idea what that is. Again, pick his shoulders out. There are different helmets depending on which faction you are. I'll go into that later on. Different shaped helmets for the different clans. So you pick the one to suit your faction. So these will be generic. It'll not just be for Space Marines. It'll be for the Iron Fists and all the rest of it. Right, the Space Marine with special weapon. You can get a flamer, a melter gun. Right, that sounds good. Melt folk. Plasma gun. And a grav gun. But you're only allowed one of them, seemingly. Again, it's all about picking the heads to go with it, what shoulders, or your backpacks. So you get one Space Marine with a heavy weapon, and you're allowed to make one Space Marine with a special weapon, and then you'll have 7 Space Marines with just standard bolt guns. But each bolt gun's slightly different. So again, your arms, your bolt guns, some of them in the left hand you could have an additional knife or a grenade, or you could have the guy reloading. Tells you what ones to use. Again, you've got all the different heads, all the different shoulder pads, all the different backpacks. These are the accessories. You've got one of these, whatever that is. You've got 2 knives, sidearm, nunchakas, 2 laser sights. There'll be smoke grenades, frag grenades, ammo pouches, and these little rosettes as well. So you can pretty much customise them. One Space Marine tactical squad of 10 players obviously gives you 70 points or something like that, and it tells you all about, you know, what they can do and all that. None of that interests me, the actual gameplay part of it. I just want to build these up and paint them. It also tells you where, if you're doing like say Ultramarines, where Omega symbol goes on one shoulder, and then you have the arrow on the other, which means tactical, and then you've got your number for your squad number. So this, if the 10 of these were squad number 2, they would all have number 2 on the side of them. It then goes into all your paint callouts, and it's really quite cool. So it even tells you what colours to paint, all the pendant and everything like that, his face, and it's all these really, really Drakenhof Nightshade and Reichland Flesh Shade. Well, I'm not going to use any of the Citadel paints for painting the face on this. I'm actually ordering up a proper flesh tones paint set. But you know, it's basically telling you the procedure they do is you would go in with your base, like Macabre Blue, and then you would shade it with your Nuln oil, and then you would layer up with the Calgar Blue, and then highlight again, you know, so it's all layered, and they go into some detail there on the paint colours. Right, here we're into the different factions. So that's the Ultramarines, or the Space Marines, as the guys that's in blue. Okay, the yellow ones are the Imperial Fists, and the green ones are Salamanders, and the white ones are White Scars, and the blackish sort of guys are Iron Hands. Now, I know that the new ones are coming out with a totally different name altogether. Then you've got the Raven Guard, and the Crimson Fists with the red hands. So it gives you all the paint colours for, you know, depending on which tactical squad that you want to do. And they also give you a lovely sheet of water slide decals. Again, a lot of these are white. So the chapter that you're in is your Omega sign. Tactical, if it's a tactical soldier, you must put arrows on. If it's assault, the X's would be on. If you're a devastator, not quite sure what all these mean in the command and the veteran and all that. So that would be what would go on your shoulders, and just your squad numbers and everything. And these are dated 2014, and they're really, really nice transfers. So they're not going to be difficult to build. The fun in these is the detail and the painting, and I think I would find that quite therapeutic. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and it's just a really quick unboxing and review of the kit, and that will go with my Razorback, and that's me hooked on Warhammer stuff for a wee bit, even though I don't play it. So I hope you've enjoyed this and found it informative. Need to know anything about it, apart from the rules and how to play it, just use the comment section down below the video. And that's me, Terry from Smoothes Workshop. Speak to you later. Bye.